So before I received this set of 132 pencils, Prismacolor pencils from the old tin, I had 132 Prismacolor pencils, which is plenty for the coloring, but for collecting it is not. And so this has doubled my Prismacolor stash to 264. I'm going to talk about these pencils mostly from a collector perspective because this may turn out to remain as a collecting set, but I'm not sure. I may actually end up using it except for two pencils. And so all the videos on YouTube that I've seen on these sets are just people cracking them. And then there are videos by some great colorists who have talked about the two pencils in this set that have been discontinued. And so I'll just highlight them. And they are 934 lavender and 956 lilac. So these two were discontinued in 2022. And that's, I think, why you find some of the newer tints with copyright 2022. They're found in the old highlighting set of 24 for lavender and in botanical and manga sets, the old ones. The new ones have had the color replaced with something else. And then in the case of lilac, you can find them in the old tin 48 and above only, the big tins. So 4872, 132, and 150. I believe 150. So definitely a nice collectible. In the case of looking at this set, I got lucky, and this seller, it looks like whoever owned it played with them a little and used a little, but that was it. Maybe they got, some of them look like they have been swatched or tried out, and so it's got this handout. But the part of this handout that I think is invaluable is this list, because it's got the 150, and then of course up here you will see the part that really is of collecting value, because it lists 934 and 956 in the list, and they have been replaced with two other colors that are very similar. And by the way, from a colorist perspective, this is totally a non-issue. Like, who cares? They got rid of two colors and then they put in two new ones that are very similar. Now, looking at these pencils, and I've noticed this in my old tin 24 and 12, I'm sorry, 24 and 36, the paint job is a little better and the dyes are a little crisper in these old pencils than they are in the sets, the set of 24 that I have from Amazon, but that's a very small comparison, so I don't really know if that's true throughout. But it definitely, the paint job is a little different, and I like the older paint job based only, again, on the very small number of pencils at my disposal. Looking through, I noticed that I think up here, this is the top tray. Usually when you open it, and it doesn't come with these specific pencils. This entire set has been rearranged by whoever owned it. But I've noticed that I think one of these pencils up here, I think it's this one. I cannot tell because I'm old and I have vision that is not completely straight. But I think one of these, at least one on each side, is a little bent. I've noticed also a few where the printing is a little off. I think I noticed at least one. But other than that, these pencils are in great shape now. Another note for just purely collecting, somebody who wanted to collect these and wanted to be finicky about collecting, this is a great set to find the ones that were never used or barely used. And so the tip on that one is barely used. But if you look through every one of these trays, you can tell that whoever owned the set did try out most of the pencils. Like, for example, this one right there. This one has been tried out. Yeah, this one has been tried out. But I think there were a few that were not even touched. This one clearly was tried out. But again, they look to have, most of them have what I think is the factory sharpening, and you can tell right here, like this one for instance, for sure has factory sharpening, but they have all been tried out a little. I mean, somebody just got it and looked. Now, I did find one pencil that had the stamping a little off. I've not seen that many that are like my white from a new set, where it's the stamp itself is a little too hard. And I've seen some cracking in the paint job, and sometimes where the slat gluing for for these pencils is not that great generally, and so sometimes you'll find the slat line will come up. Not this one. This one's just a bad paint job. Will come up on the stamp itself. But overall, this set looks great. You know, these look great, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. Whether I'm gonna crack them and use them, or whether I'll move up to the 150 at some point. But it's very early in my collecting of these, and it's also very early in my adult coloring. I mean, I've only been in this hobby for a couple of weeks, for 3 weeks or something. I don't even think I've been in here for a month. So right now it's early days, but definitely a great lot. I paid $82, which works out to like 63 cents per pencil. So that's really good. That's a really good price in today's inflationary environment, as people say. See, so I can't find off the top of my head just from looking through these. I did find one where the stamping was clearly off. Was clearly partly missing, but I'm unable to find it right now, and I don't want to spend too much of your valuable time doing so.